Welcome back to the King of It podcast, lads.
Welcome back.
Back in the building, back in Studio 63.
Yep.
Which is sweltering right now.
Oh my goodness, I've got some shorts on. I've got a great fake tan bake going on. It's a wonderful day until you realise you've got a podcast to do in Craig's mum's attic and it's boiling.
Yeah, we tried to get it early, but time's ticking on. But anyway, we're back. We're here to talk about the Mongol Rally.
Friggin' wicked. Do that. Oh, not that one.
Inside.
The Mongol Rally!
Mongol Rally, baby!
Flipping sick, boys.
Yeah, the best adventure we've ever done.
Pretty much.
So much so that we're making a whole season on it on our podcast.
And today's going to be such a great podcast because we're talking about one of the strangest countries ever.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, sorry.
So on the last podcast,
Yeah.
if you haven't heard it already, we talked about Iran.
We went to Iran.
We're
Who does
so
that?
lucky.
Who does that?
I know. Who does it and who's lucky enough to experience that?
Who's lucky enough to experience it driving through it?
Madness.
Incredible. In the comfort of your own veranda, babes. Do you know what I mean? You're such a spoiled tart, Craig.
I know. I mean, looking back, I'm watching it and there's a clip of you and you're like, I'm just driving to the border of Iran. And I'm like, that's mad.
Mental.
My missus driving through Iran, like.
Look at that. If you're watching this podcast, you can see my guns right now. They're flipping massive, mate.
Amy's a Herbalife wanker now.
No, I'm not.
You are?
I'm doing it for the energy, Craig. I need the energy.
Gerbil life.
Anyway.
So if you don't know what the Mongol Rally is, and this is a brand new podcast for you, we drove a little tin box that was orange camouflage from the UK all the way to Russia.
Hang on, don't be so disrespectful. Tell us her name.
Fferanda babes.
Fferanda, babe.
Is her
yeah,
name.
She's got a name.
She had a mascot as well, Andre 3000 BC.
Yeah,
Which was a mechanical dinosaur on the roof.
it was.
Essential for the rally.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we drove from the UK to Russia, 12,000 miles, third of the planet.
Love it.
We actually did it in 70 days was the total time we were on the road, which is mad.
72 days, but we'll give it a take.
All right. So if you haven't listened to our Iran podcast, go back and give that a go.
Give it a go. Take some tissues. It was such an emotional roller coaster, wasn't it, Iran?
It really was,
And
yeah.
I cannot recommend it enough. It is a holiday destination. It is a beautiful place of culture and colour and marvellousness.
And lovely people. Shouts to Rashid.
Rashid, we love you.
So on this episode, we will be talking about...
Oh, I wish you had like a no.
I know.
On the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? When it's like lights. Go on.
Turkmenistan.
I mean, what the bleeping hell is Turkmenistan?
Well, let me tell you. Dubbed as the North Korea of Central Asia, it's one of the world's most censored countries.
Wow.
Turkmenistan is ranked as one of the hardest countries to enter, with strict visa applications requiring assistance from tour agencies and a guide. Bordered by Iran, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan and Afghanistan, and it is made up of over 80% desert. I didn't know that till just now.
Yeah, that was a fact that I wrote in there for you. You say it so well.
You will not find any international retail brands in Turkmenistan, and most phone apps are blocked in Turkmenistan. Not even your emails will work there.
Mental. It's like its own little hub of weirdness, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'd heard so many things about Turkmenistan, and they were all true when we got there. It was as weird as we thought it was going to be.
It was weird, but it was amazing. It was like fascinating.
So different than anywhere we've been.
I think when we were there, we were kind of like playing up to the fact that we were in this like dictatorship.
Exactly, and that's what makes it so weird is him, isn't it?
Yeah. What's his name?
Well, what I've read was that he...
Don't talk shit about him now, they'll be after you.
No, he's dead. He died
right.
in 2006.
Oh, of course he did,
There's a new guy now. But he declared himself as the president for life.
Okay.
He just did that. I don't even know if there was like a ballot
What's
thing
his name
held. You ready?
Yeah.
Give me a minute. Apologies. Rest in peace and all that jazz. Sapar Murat Nayazov. Yep.
Yep.
That is him. We'll call him Sapper.
Sapper.
Yeah. So he was a bit of a dictator rather than a president, shall we say. had very weird ideologies of how he wanted his land to be.
Yeah. And also, like, there's so many mental videos you will find about this guy on the internet.
Right.
So, like, because it's a dictatorship, they kind of only show the people what they want them to see. So they, like, tell them that they won gold in, like, certain... If they win gold, they only show them that.
In the Olympics.
And they only show them certain things where they've done well.
So weird.
And there's videos of him, like... he'll like be riding a horse, firing, like shooting at bow and arrows and stuff, and it's a stunt double.
No,
and it's all green screen and stuff. Have you seen all this stuff?
No.
It's fucking mental. He's like,
that would be me.
He's like, this is how sick I am, and he just makes a movie about him and how sick he is,
well,
and the people believe it.
I mean, this is the fact that so Turkmenistan has the 6th largest oil and gas reserve in the world. So it's a really minted country.
Yeah,
They've got a shitload of money.
Yeah.
And he can do what he wants with it.
Not very well distributed though, is it?
Not at all, no. But this is a good fact for you. Since 1993, water, electricity and gas have been free to all residents in Turkmenistan.
Yeah, that's mad.
And meaning the majority of families never turn off their stove to save on the cost of matches. Mental.
Bloody hell.
That is unreal.
That's a mad fact.
That's a mad fact. I know. So they've got a lot of money, and this guy, he holds the Guinness World Record for the most amount of white marble buildings in any one place.
Crikey. All right, don't give it all away. We haven't even got into it yet.
I'm just setting the scene. I'm laying it down. I'm laying the vision of what this place is and who it's run by. I got facts for days, bro. Don't even worry.
I know you have. You can't wait to spit them. Before we crack on with Turkmenistan, let's give a little shout out to our sponsor, shall we?
Yeah!
So professional. So this week's sponsor and this podcast's sponsor is Babbel, the language app.
Thank the Lord for Babbel.
Amy edited the last podcast and forgot to put the Babbel logo up, so here it is.
Oh.
If you're watching on YouTube.
Oh, sorry about that.
Half a job, Bannister.
Apologies.
So, go on, take it away, Aim. What is Babbel?
Babbel is a language app. It's an application you can get on your phone or your laptop device to learn, well, kind of whatever language you want, really, up to 14.
Brilliant start. You missed the first line. Have you ever wanted to learn a language but thought, I haven't got enough time?
I'm not on that bit.
Well, Babbel will get you speaking a language in a matter of weeks.
It's coming from the heart, Craig. I'm not just reading it off the teleprompter or whatever it's called.
Teleprompter,
that's what I said.
Go on, what else you got?
So they're like daily 10 to 15 minute lessons. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to like think about, I've got to go home and I've got to do my Babbel homework. It's going to take me an hour. You know, you can do it when and where. You can download it offline, so you can do it down the beach.
Download it offline?
Yeah, download it.
Download it off online?
Off the online. And then take it offline to take to the beach. That's what I said. Speech recognition technology, which helps you to improve your pronunciation and accent, which I could do with in English right now.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great though, isn't it? We took
amazing.
it onto the rally. They sponsored our car, which was brilliant. We had a big Babbel poster at the front, which I apologise, Babbel. It got like riddled with bugs, dead bugs, didn't it? As it was like smacking on the front of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, a really brilliant application. You've been using it.
I've been smashing it, to be fair. I've been doing a bit of Indonesian.
You're like a proper competitive little lad, aren't you?
Not competitive, but just language fascinates me. And I've always wanted to learn it properly. But I've never found an app that's like legit and that I get on with, because sometimes they can be really annoying, or like, I don't know, they don't test you enough. Babbel's wicked. So it's like, lessons are created by over 100 language experts. So these people are the real deal. Do you know what I mean?
Real deal, and real people as well.
Yeah, real sentences. So one of the main things I love about it is that it is their real life conversations.
It's very interactive. It's kind of like a game, which doesn't make it boring.
Yeah.
You sort of test yourself and you compete against yourself. It's a brilliant way of doing it.
One of the other things I love about it is when you finish like a whole lesson, if there's like things that you were a bit sketchy on, you can go back and do flashcards. So instead of having to do the whole lesson again, it'll just give you flashcards of certain words that you got wrong. So you can just like improve on the little bits.
Love it.
Bloody brilliant, mate.
Really brilliant. So massive shout out. Let me do this bit because I'm a professional.
Go on.
Try Babbel today. Just go to babbel.co.uk or download the app for free. That's Babbel, BABBEL.co.uk. or download the app and try it for free. Absolutely free. You don't even have to bloody pay for it, Craig. Who wouldn't do that? Babbel. Learn a new language and make it your own. Thank you.
Well done, babes.
Thank you.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. Give Babbel a shout. Today is an extra special episode because not only are we talking about a country that is a full-blown dictatorship and just fascinating, we've also got a special guest on the show.
Special guest!
Now, this could get feisty.
It's not going to get feisty.
I'm joking.
Because he's seen my guns and I know that he's not going to mess with me.
So we're about to call Will Webb to
William.
get Will Webb on the blower. Because I was chatting to him the other day. I said, look, Will, we want to get you on the podcast. We want you to say your bit. What are you looking at?
Oh, I want to do that. Bom, 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 but
Go on,
I
then.
can't find it. Which one is
Yeah,
it?
hold on there, look.
William Webb! You're shit with them. I said I was going to take
I
over
was
this
going to
week.
do it when I called him, but anyway.
All right, give him a ring then.
So yeah, Will wants to come in and he basically said, I want to say my piece because he said he was a bit angry in the start. So he wants to have his say.
Should we just let the people know who are new to this podcast, who haven't watched our YouTube channel, who the hell Will is?
Okay, so we did the rally with two other people, our mates Jessica Berg and William Webb.
Our teammate, Jeff.
Will is actually my oldest friend. I met Will when I was 3. So I've known Will for 30 years.
Oh my God, you're so old.
It's mad, isn't it? I'm old, mate. 3 decades I've known this kid.
Goodness gracious.
So he's my boy, so we'll get him on the blower now and see what's happening. Hopefully he's not golfing or something.
Yeah, he loves a bit of golf in the old lockdown, doesn't he?
Here he is. Right, see if this rings. Oh, here we go.
Hello, Paul.
Hey, there
Was
he
that Will?
is.
Can you hear him?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got you, mate. How you doing?
Am I live on here?
Live on here, son.
Yay!
Oh, yeah, baby. How are you, right?
All good, mate. All good. Right.
What are we chatting about? Anyway, what part are we on?
So we got a couple of questions for you. We won't keep you on the line for the whole time because I think
Oh,
when we had
God.
Jess on, she was just sort of
In the
listening to
background,
us for
wasn't
most
she?
of it.
We
JD in the background.
do ramble on a little bit, so we'll keep it short.
all right. No worries.
Oh, we'll just fire some questions off there, mate. So
Oh, mate, do it.
the start of the rally, it was up and down for all of us. But how was the start of the rally for you?
Oh, mate, you know me. That was brutal, wasn't it? If I'm totally honest, I was just in a bad way when I was in a terrible mood for the whole thing. Truth be told, mate. Truth be told, like I didn't. It all started when Craig rang me and said we're going on a Mongol Rally because I didn't think it was going to happen. You know.
Right.
I signed up to it and I was like, fuck, I just didn't. This looks amazing. This is cool.
Yeah.
This is never going to happen. And then he rang me and he's like, we're going on. I go, oh my God, we're doing it. So I just built it up in my head. You know, I had all my family people saying, oh, you're going to hate this. Like, you're going to fucking dread driving, you know. Because like, if someone was going to invent torture for me, mate, it would just be driving in a car for 6 hours a day, you know.
Yeah.
Absolute
Mate,
torture.
I know. Like,
It's like the worst thing I could do. So all you guys, I just remember all buzzing and that, and I was just in this mindset where I was just like, this is going to be tough. This is going to be really hard. So I was stuck in that for like quite a long time. Still looking back on it now, like unbelievable, one of the best things I've ever done. But that first couple of weeks until we met up with the crew, you know, the entourage, it was really tough for me. Really, really tough.
yeah.
Because you know, I was on my way. I wanted to see Jane. I just wanted to get there. And I was just in the wrong mindset. You know, like a terrible mindset.
Who's Jane?
So everything was setting me up. Love of my life.
Oh, this
Jane,
lovely.
yeah.
So to
Well,
get
yeah, it's a happy ending, isn't it? Really
Yeah,
happy ending. But
absolutely.
no, I just really, really struggled those first 3 weeks, and it was bad. I got to apologize to all of you because it was a bad mindset to be in, you know. And I struggled to get out of it. I really did. But then the boys, we're so lucky with meeting those lads because they changed everything, didn't they?
definitely.
They diluted the pot, as they say, and just good chat and just great people, you know.
Yeah, for
We were
sure.
so lucky, so lucky.
Yeah, we were. So just
And I can't even. Sorry, I can't even imagine like other entourages being anywhere near that good, you know.
yeah,
We just got really, really lucky,
we really lucked
and
out with the
that
boys.
made the trip
Yeah.
massively, man.
Yeah.
Every single one of them was class,
Yeah.
you know, and they got us through it. And I would have struggled. I've got to be honest. I would have struggled to get to Mongolia if it was just the four of us.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
We really would have. Well, we probably wouldn't have made it, mate. To be honest,
No,
the boys dragged us half the way, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They did.
They literally did. You know.
So just to give Will a bit of background, a bit more background. So before we did the rally, me, Will, and Amy, we were in Bali together. So we travelled around, and whilst we were there, Will met Jane, who's now his girlfriend. So and Jane was actually still in Indonesia. So whilst we were on the rally, Will was messaging Jane, and
I think he just wanted to be with her.
Yeah, you just wanted to be there, I think.
I really did. But she got me through it, mate. You know, if I wasn't messaging her and speaking to her every day, she just honestly kept me going. Yeah. And that was my goal. You know, I was just to get to her.
Yeah,
I was always going to get to Indonesia to see her. So I was driving across the world basically to get to Indonesia. And it all worked out great in the end. But that's why I was so motivated. One day I remember just clicking and just going, Christ, let's just do this, man. Let's just drive. And I was happy to drive, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Come on, guys, let's go. So I was always like, let's go, let's do it.
Yeah.
And I was happier driving, mate, than I was sitting in the car.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I can't really sleep in cars. So I'd rather be doing something. So I'll just drive.
Yeah. To be fair to you, Will, you probably did.
I put some hours in.
You put some big shifts in. You really did.
Yeah. Let's get there. But no, mate, looking back now, like, honestly, incredible experience. But would I do it again? Not in a fucking million years, you know? Not in a million years. But like, amazing.
I was going to ask you some of your highlights, but yeah, you said a couple. Well, what if you could pick out one or two things from the first couple of weeks, what would you say were your highlights? Even though some of it was hard.
I can remember the first couple of weeks. Like, Turkey was special. Really, like before we met the boys.
Yeah.
You mean? Yeah, Turkey was really special. Cappadocia, I wasn't expecting. That blew me away.
Yeah.
Istanbul was really special. I mean, I had friends there, so I met with some friends who I teach skiing. That was pretty special. First couple of weeks, definitely. Turkey, Istanbul was pretty special, and Cappadocia was really, really good. Yeah, and the drive in Turkey when the car didn't really make it, and we went over that amazing drive over the mountains. That was pretty special.
Yeah, that was good.
Really good.
So, if you could describe your experience on the rally in a few sentences, what would you say?
Oh, mate. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't know.
It's mad, isn't it? Where'd you start? Like?
Never do it again. I would advise, like, I'd advise people, like, really, really research. If you're going to do it, really look into it and realise it's a lot. You'll hear all the good stories and stuff, but just look into, like, research if you're actually going to do it, because it's hard work. It's not easy. Like you say, you've got to pick your team, make sure your team is, like, solid and in the right mindset, and just, pick someone who can fucking know a little bit about cars.
Yeah.
The one thing we had, we could change a tyre. That was it. That's not bad, but that was it. We had no idea.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
We could change a spark plug, like.
Oh yes, remember that? It's a spark plug stuff. Don't worry. New spark plugs in there. Oh my god, she's the best.
Brilliant.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know if I could sum it up. It's too much to sum up in 3 seconds. Just to be honest, man, just madness. That's the madness.
Yeah.
But friends for life, you know, like the guys you met, just top quality boys, you know, and they made it, you know.
Yeah.
They really helped us.
Yeah, they did.
And if you think about it, we got told fucking the last 4 countries or something. No, Mongol. We got told most of it, didn't we? Oh my god!
We didn't even have a tow bar either, so yeah, we would have been talking about them.
Really dangerous tow rope, isn't we?
Yeah.
Oh my god! But great lads.
All right, mate. Thanks for coming on. Anyway, thanks for saying your piece.
Worries. Absolute pleasure. Enjoying them.
Yeah, we'll go for a surf later, mate, if you're keen.
Yeah, man. I'm in. It'll be good.
All right, mate. I'll give you a call in a bit.
Thanks a lot.
Wicked,
nice
thanks,
one,
Will. See
Take
you.
it easy, mate.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Will Webb.
Everyone on the blower.
For someone who doesn't chat too much.
He's a man of little words, usually. You can't, the Mongol Rally just takes you, doesn't it? You do have so much to say about it, because it's mad.
It really is. I'm glad we got Will on, because, there was, when Will was in a good mood, everybody was buzzing. Yeah. And, like, we had so much fun. And there was, even though, like, because we put some of the drama in, which was, like, Will kicking off sometimes just because it was funny. But, like, aside from the drama, like, we had such a good time, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't take it back. I wouldn't change it for anything.
No. I probably would have sat Will down, though, in the beginning and be like, babes, what's wrong?
Yeah.
Because I did feel like, what's going on? Like, this isn't Will. And all I could think is, he's really missing Jane, and that's where he wants to be instead.
Yeah.
But I was just so angry because there was like so many people that wanted to come, and I thought, he doesn't even want to be here. I think that's why we butted heads so much.
Yeah.
But it meant so much then that he apologised about all that, because, yeah.
You're going to cry, yeah.
No, I'm not going to cry.
Right, should we get into Turkmenistan then?
Let's do it.
All right, so we turn up at the border. $10, please, drive.
What for?
Just tax, innit, or whatever.
Literally, he was just like, yeah, do you have $10? I was like, I mean, like, do you want to borrow that, or do you need that? And he's like, yeah, it's just $10 to get through the border. Oh, okay. Where's it? What do I sign? Where's that for? What's that for?
I got a wicked fact for you. If you're going to go to a dictatorship, one of the best things you can do to like introduce yourself to the country is have a photo with one of the guards without them looking, and then they find out.
Oh,
do you remember that?
Yeah. Nearly got killed.
So this was Amy Bannister's idea. She was like, take a quick photo of me with this fella.
Well,
who was who was with you? Who was your mate?
Well, going through these countries, going through the borders, the owner of the car had to take the car. The rest of the passengers had to get out and physically walk through and sign all the paper.
You take it on your own, yeah.
Walking through, so I had to take it on my own.
You took a selfie with the guards in Turkmenistan.
No, well, I was with the boys, wasn't I? So each owner of the car, of our convoy, came. I can't remember who I got to take it. But I didn't think he didn't know it was being taken, but he was not happy about it.
He booted off, and luckily we had 2 GoPros, so he told Amy to delete the card. So she switched the GoPros. Smart girl, smart kid. Thinking on the spot, like James Bond.
Yeah.
Switched them out, and then showed him the empty card, but you still got the photo.
Yeah.
We had to say goodbye to Rashid, but because it was like this weird no man's land, we couldn't actually say goodbye to him because we'd gone through this gate and they wouldn't let us go back.
Yeah.
So some of us got to say bye and others just literally walked away from Rashid.
Yeah,
so
which is
that was a bit sad.
Such a buzzkill because he was such a great part of Iran for us. He was like a really big character. I'm so glad we had him. Like,
he was class.
Everything just worked out so perfectly. Like, just think if we just had a different Iranian tour guide, it would have been a different experience.
It really would have.
Yeah.
So before we left Iran, there was like a no man's land bit between the two.
Big time, yeah.
And there was a petrol station. So we like filled up all our jerry cans because it was like £2 to go.
It was so cheap in Iran.
I think it was cheap in Turkmenistan, but yeah, we filled them up.
Yeah.
And we didn't actually have any money. We didn't have any Turkish manat.
Well, we didn't have any money in Iran either because you couldn't take out
anything in Iran. So
take our card.
Whilst we were in Iran, there was an embargo on the country.
That's right.
So we couldn't use any cash machines or the banks. So
luckily we were with people. We had to borrow so much money.
Yeah, we borrowed probably like $300 or $400, didn't we?
People, yeah.
But just before Turkmenistan, there was like a black market, and we managed to meet this fella.
Yeah, it was
so
dodgy.
Really bizarre. Yeah, we were like counting money in this little cafe and did a little dodgy deal with someone.
So weird. But like so normal for the rally.
Yeah.
You always look for someone off the black market to try and get your money changed for cheaper.
Yeah, it was always cheaper as well.
And everybody loves the American dollar.
Yeah.
Everyone will
love
take
it. It's like gold dust.
It is gold.
They're
like, what you got? You've got dollars. What do you want?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Because they were like crispy notes as well. So we were like, oh, please. So yeah, so we got to Turkmenistan. I can't remember how long the crossover was to get through the border. But they said, you need to plug this tracker into your car. So we went into the cigarette lighter and we told them our route. And they were like,
give them our itinerary first, yeah.
Yeah, and they were like, you can't go off this route. And if you do, then we'll know about it.
Yeah, and there'll be someone sent, basically.
So creepy.
So mad.
They told us you can't stop for 25 kilometers. So once you go through the border gate, you have to drive for 25k until you get to Ashgabat, which is the capital city.
Yeah.
So Ollie had a bit of trouble, didn't he? So the boys...
Yeah, the boys in the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Oh, you got it right that time.
I thought about it.
Yeah, so Ollie and Aidan, a friend of their family or something, they had like army rations. So every night we would camp, they'd have like goulash and all this.
Goulash and like tiramisu shit.
Yeah,
and
I'm
like, we're with noodles every night. We're looking at them, dribbling, just like, oh, boys.
Well, I wasn't
good.
dribbling in love with the beef, but yeah.
No.
Because I'm vegan.
Did you? Oh, you didn't mention it.
I'm vegan. So because he had these army rations, the guards like kind of recognized it as army rations, and they were like, "Have you got any AK-47s or grenades?"
Because that's what you ask
to go with your rations.
To go with your beef goulash. That's the first thing you would ask. Do you have a gun?
You got beef goulash? Where's your gun? So we had to pay $95 each for a visa. And for some reason, it was $123 for the car. And I think the visa prices vary between where you were from.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I remember some boys were going in and it was like $30.
Oh, right.
And ours was like one of the more expensive ones, obviously.
Of course.
So yeah, we drove into the city and it was like, it set the scene. What was it like for you?
Okay, so you come out of the border, right? There's just like this one road, mountains either side of you, like a massive gates and watchtowers, and you're told you need to drive 25 kilometers, do not stop until you get to Ashgabat. We've got this tracker, we've had a grilling before we even get into the country on where we're going, why we're going there, who we are, where we're from. So we're driving, and obviously we wanted our convoy to catch up with us, so we pulled over, stupid, and then within 5 minutes a government car comes along, tells us you need to move. They know where you are.
It's
they know
so
what you're
creepy.
doing. I know.
And like, yeah, you stop the car or you drive and you spot like a turret, like a watchtower.
Yeah.
And then there's like two guards walking around it. It's so
With
weird.
guns.
With guns,
Like, yeah.
They're not just for show. Like they're literally watching everything that happens.
I don't know who they're expecting to come in, but like I'm really glad because he's opened his country up to the Mongol Rally, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, you basically can't drive through.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
we were
know
so
how you would
jammy.
do it. But the Mongol Rally has got a tick, yet they can come through.
Yeah.
Mad.
Crazy, yeah.
Great guy. Sort of. Kind of.
Well, he's dead now,
No,
isn't he?
not really. Well, the new guy.
And the new guy, yeah.
Hats off to the new guy.
So we drove in and first impressions of the city.
Immaculate.
We asked Will what he thought when we drove in.
Oh, yeah. Oh, fucking hell. That was mad, wasn't it? All I remember, that was like one of our first border crossings as a big squad after Iran. And they gave us that tracker, didn't they, to put in the car. I didn't know. I read up a bit about Turkmenistan because it was a dictatorship, isn't it? So it was pretty interesting. Like one of the only ones outside of North Korea. And I just remember when we got through the check-in or whatever, they just said, you can't stop, you've got to get in your car and just drive.
Yeah.
And we're like, we couldn't wait for the convoy, So it was like a 10-mile from a fence to another fence, wasn't it? That was the actual border.
Yeah.
And all of that border was like patrolled by the military. And we pulled over, I remember, on the side of the road, didn't we? And then someone moved us on.
Yeah.
So we had to go from one point to the other point, and we couldn't wait for anyone. So what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And then we got in there. And it's just white marble buildings and pristine roads with no one on.
Mad, wasn't it?
It was so bizarre, wasn't it? It was like North Korea, like dictatorship stuff. But it was cool. It was really cool to see.
Yeah.
I was like, when are you going to go see that again, When are you ever going to go to Turkmenistan,
I know.
Ever. And that was another thing. You get a visa for it through the Mongol Rally or something, or if you're in the media or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that's
like
what I was going to say.
Really hard to get into it.
We never would have got in, I don't think, if we weren't doing the rally. You can't just fly into Turkmenistan. Like.
Yeah, that's so cool. I thought it was amazing there. I thought it was mad.
So yeah, it was just white marble buildings. The roads were pristine. It was like 5-lane highways, and we were the only cars on there.
There wasn't even like a circular bit of chewing gum. There was nothing.
Circular bit?
You know when it goes flat, it goes circular. Not even that.
I've never seen a rectangular piece of chewing gum on the floor, have you?
That is a great point. Do you know what I mean? No.
That is a good point.
Pre-chewed is circular. But yeah, so there was like huge roads, 5-lane like motorways with nobody on them.
I just said that.
Oh, sorry. I said it better though, didn't I?
But yeah, the strangest thing is like there's all these white marble buildings which are like the government buildings, and we were told you can't film them. And there's also like high-rise, like smart-looking apartment-style buildings, and they're empty.
Yeah, nobody in them.
Nobody lives in them.
They're huge as well. Like think of a big, massive government building, but with nobody in it.
No, these aren't the government ones. These are like the apartment ones.
There was offices that were filled with nobody.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, mad.
It's like someone's building a city. It's like The Sims. He's like, right, build this city so it looks good, but we're not going to use it.
Yeah, that's it.
It's fucking mad.
And there was people, it was like women who would go around, they would be like, they'd have those little scarves over their heads, the Y2K ones that are really in for girls now, little bandana and that.
Yeah.
And they would be using like household scissors to cut the grass along the side of the road.
And there'd be people like sweeping the highways, sweeping the motorways.
With brooms, yeah.
It's very strange.
It was like if you'd have gone up to them, they'd have like one of their eyes would have flickered and they would have been like a little robot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they didn't look up, they didn't smile, they didn't wave, like nothing.
So we didn't know exactly for sure, so this is probably a bit of speculation.
Okay, well, take that with a pinch of salt. Take this
yeah.
whole, because people are commenting saying, "Oh, that fact that you said, that's not true."
Oh yeah, just to rewind to Iran the other week, the mosque wasn't 7,000 years old. That was before any religion was even invented.
Supposedly,
it was. I think it was 700. But Rashid did say 7,000. So Rashid.
That's what you heard, Craig. That's what you heard.
That's what I heard. What was I going to say? Oh, Turkmenistan. So rumor has it that there is like, even though the city looks pristine, all of the local people live out on the outskirts in like little shanty village in the slums. Yeah.
We never saw that part of it. I think they just they literally try and keep that bit away.
It's like they're hiding all the real people, and they just want to have this.
It's so crazy.
Can't get your head around it, really.
It really is. Just the lack of people that we saw. I just read a fact that in 2018, they only had 13,000 visitors to Turkmenistan.
Really?
That's it. That's it.
Whoa. Probably a couple of thousand with them was the Mongol Rally people as well.
Definitely.
We're so lucky to have gone there.
I know, and I would love to go back. Just to... Well, there's not a lot to explore. And there's nobody to really interact with, but, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, we drive to Ashgabat. We have our little first impressions. We were a bit weird about the camera as well, because they said you can't film certain stuff. So
they put the fear into us.
Yeah.
They did.
So we found a hotel. It was called the Grande Turkmenistan Hotel.
This is just my favourite.
And the best part about it, there was a swimming pool, which we hadn't seen for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah. So the vibe in the camp was buzzing. Everyone was like really sad to have left Iran, but you can't drink in Iran. And if you know, boys can be boys. They want a good beer, and it was boiling. So everybody was like, cool, Turkmenistan, we're going to find a banging place and we're going to have a party. Yeah. Everyone's going to get drunk. We're going to have a really good time.
So like British influence.
Super British, yeah. We're going to find some chips
lads. Yeah.
So when we rocked up, I think that the Grand Turkmen was one of the only hotels
with
in
a pool.
Turkmenistan.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, everyone's 5-star. Every single hotel in Turkmenistan is 5-star because it's so beautiful and so like pristine. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this one had a pool, so everyone was buzzing.
We basically just got off our tits on beers. We only probably had 2 or 3. That's all we needed.
I know.
Living on noodles and no alcohol.
And again, it was absolutely boiling. Yeah. Really, really like penetrate your skin boiling.
But we got there kind of late in the afternoon, so it was so nice. We all just jumped in the pool and we just had such a good time. It was like such a good team bonding experience, and it was our first proper experience of one of Rob's speeches, and I think it was probably Rob's best speech.
Oh my god, Rob and the speeches just became an absolute...
I hope he does a speech on this when we get him on.
We'll make him.
So he was steaming, he was just talking utter bollocks, everyone was, but it was just so much fun.
Yeah. So the hotel was like $120, which is really expensive. Yeah. But I think because we were like so tired and so not dirty, but like our itinerary in Iran was so jam-packed, we were like, right, we're just going to treat ourselves. We're going to spend one night in a really luxury place, didn't we?
Yeah.
And
so we were
great.
Yeah, we needed a proper sleep, and because we'd done a border crossing, everyone was just shattered. So we were like, just have a chill in the pool and have a few beers. Yeah, we had a wild night, and then the next day we moved to like a $50 a night place, which was a bit sketchy.
Yeah, it was like a little peach number, wasn't it?
Yeah, we found like a little British pub. We're so British.
Of course we did.
Got drunk, and then we went to a place called the London Pub.
It was so weird that was there, though.
It was bizarre. It looked like you walked into a pub anywhere in the UK. It smelled
like a British pub, yeah.
Yeah, it smelled like beer and drip trays and smoke.
Yeah.
There was like a pool table. They had a menu which was about 50 pages long.
Yeah.
But it was super cheap. Yeah, it was like £1 for a meal.
What was it? £1 something for a full English?
£1.10.
Amazing.
What a bargain.
English me.
So yeah, we all were because it was so hot in the middle of the day. We all just sort of chilled for the morning, and then when the sun started going down, we went out and we went to one of this guy. We'll go back to this guy, the dictator who built all these buildings.
I'll give you some facts about him in a minute.
So he's obsessed with Guinness World Records.
Yes, how weird is that?
And one of his world records was the largest indoor Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
So we were like, let's go and see it. So we turn up to this Ferris wheel.
Not expecting it to be open or anything because there's nobody around.
There's no one there.
Like a ghost town.
There's no one outside. There's no cars. Nope. You walk in. There's no one there, and then all of a sudden someone just appears.
Yeah.
It's like they get radioed and they're like, you need to go.
There's somebody there.
And they literally turned the Ferris wheel on for us.
For us, yeah.
We had one cart, one little cubicle that we all got in, and there was aircon in it.
Yeah,
it
which
was like
was
this
amazing.
immaculate luxury Ferris wheel.
With like gold plated, it had like gold trimmings on it and like stars.
It was
and
fancy.
It was freaking fancy.
And then there was like a weird arcade underneath with like, arcade games, and you could get tokens and stuff.
Yeah, and there was like 2 Turkmen guys that worked there.
Yeah.
They were quite young and they were
loving it, weren't they?
Yeah, they were loving the fact that we were there.
So yeah, we just spent the afternoon driving round and just getting a feel for it. And
we wanted to explore the place, didn't we? We
Yeah.
went to a lot of like monuments, like that star monument. We
Yeah.
went up to it and there was guards at the top and they
Well, it
were
was
like, you can't be here.
It was a building, wasn't it? It wasn't a monument. It was.
Yeah.
It was. That was the main building. I think that's where, like, the president and his men like hang out.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's no
that-
wonder we couldn't go
yeah,
there then. We
so-
was driving up his big drive like, ah yeah, we're
I know,
here.
all these like hideous cars.
And then there's people with guns and we're like, oh no, okay, bye.
Yeah, they were literally like, turn around
Turn
now.
around
Do
now.
not take photos. So I had my zoom lens on, trying to
don't
get
take
shots.
photos. You need to leave right now.
Mm.
Yeah.
So mad. Like,
Really
what are they worried
crazy.
about?
Sure, right. Let me give you these facts.
Go
So,
on.
president for life, Sapper, remember that guy? So he implemented many laws throughout his reign,
Okay.
and a couple of them were on February 2004. Men were banned from having long hair or beards.
Really?
Yes, so he literally would tell you how to look.
Shit.
In 2005, lip syncing was banned at concerts.
Lip syncing.
Yeah,
All right. So if you're the singer,
you can't fake it. Britney can't go there.
I like that though. That's a good law.
I suppose. Dogs were banned from the capital due to their unappealing odour. We can't be friends. I'm not going to go back.
That's mad.
We didn't see a dog, did we? We didn't see any dogs.
Do you know what I'd love to see?
Yeah.
A dictatorship where you are the leader.
Me.
Yeah.
I would love that too.
What would you do?
Oh, it would just be a great time.
It would just be a city full of dogs, wouldn't it?
The Scissor Sisters would be...
You said this the other day. You said you'd kill them.
Oh, I mean, it's quite harsh.
Really harsh.
I gas them. Maybe I gas them. I really don't like the Scissor Sisters. They're kind of
You
no
would-
more, but when that song comes
You would
up...
gas them.
Well, I don't
Who
feel
are you?
like dancing. I just can't do it. I hate that song.
Moving on.
Okay, after he quit smoking, smoking was banned in all public places and for government employees.
I love that.
They weren't allowed to smoke either.
I can't smoke. You can't smoke.
No, I know. And the new President Gurbanguly Bermad Hamadow, he was the one that banned all non-white cars in the capital in 2018.
Oh, so it was a thing then?
Yeah, he also banned the import of black cars into the country. So
Mad. Yeah, and there's
he wanted
literally...
everything super clean, and they think white was his favourite colour.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's literally no other cars. It's
Yeah.
just white cars apart from the Mongol Rally ones.
Yeah,
Fascinating
which are
stuff.
super colourful. It's a surprise he let them in, really.
I know.
Really crazy.
It is mad. So, along with the Ferris wheel, what else did we see? We saw a rocket-shaped building.
Yeah,
We saw...
and they're like trimmed in like neon lights,
Yeah.
which makes them look so cool.
It's
They
like
just
Las Vegas.
stand out. Yeah,
And they've all got different colours and they change colour.
yeah.
They're not just a cheap-looking rocket-shaped building. It's the sickest rocket-shaped
It's
building you've
amazing.
ever seen
and
in
it's
your life.
massive.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a department store?
No, that was the pyramid-shaped one,
Pyramids.
which wasn't actually the department store.
We rocked up. I'm like, oh, girls, I'm going to go shopping. We walked in and there was nobody there and there was nothing open.
It's like they go, right, let's build a shopping mall, put some boxes in there so it looks like we're about to open, but it just never open.
But nobody goes there.
We did find one supermarket that sold like a few t-shirts and joggers and stuff. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Oh, you bought the tracksuit in there.
The
Amy
Turkmenistan
bought-
tracksuit.
It's like a football
Of
tracksuit.
course I did.
It's so funny.
It's wicked. It was like blue and grey and it said Turkmenistan across the front. And it is like, I look like a football coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Morning, coach.
I think I paid like £3 for it. But there was people in that shop. And when I went in there, everybody was staring at me.
Really?
I wasn't even
You
like
do look a bit weird.
dressed like a sluzzer or nothing, even though it was warm. I had trousers on. But yeah, a couple of looks.
Oh, brilliant. So, yeah, we drove round in the night because like the buildings looked amazing in the day when the sun, because they're like white marble, the sun reflects off them and they just look fascinating. But in the night, it looks completely different again. Like I said, it looks like Vegas. And one of the mad things that stood out for me was we got close to one of these buildings that had like two little like cubby holes, and there was two guards stood inside them.
Oh, yeah.
And Seth one of our Canadian mates was like, "Oh, can you take a photo of me?" So I was getting a photo, and I was like, "Oh, go a bit closer, go a bit closer." And as we got too close, the guards started stamping their guns. They were like, "Boom,
Yeah.
boom," and I was like, "What's going on?" So we kept taking photos, and as we got closer, they were doing it more and more rapid. And I was like, "Oh, I think that's because of us."
It's you, yeah.
And then when we backed off, they stopped. It was so weird.
So mad.
They're literally like, "Come any closer, and I will pop you in the chin, mate." Mad.
Scary stuff.
I loved it.
So did I.
Like in hindsight, I think we were trying to be like, "Oh, this is a weird place," but it was like,
you got used to it.
Yeah,
and you
got used to the
accepted
weirdness.
it for its uniqueness, and yeah, went with it. It was really cool. But I would like to have like sort of got to know some more men, you know.
Men, is it?
Well,
don't be talking to Turkmen men.
I come across something the other day. It's probably my favourite word, Turkmenbashi.
What's that mean?
I'm not sure. I don't know where I saw it, but I remember Turkmenbashi.
You better not be
Is that a
after.
place?
You better not be after no Turkmenbashi.
I think. No. Stop it, Craig.
So that was our experience in Ashgabat. We were kind of in and out. I remember Rob stayed there for a while because they needed some work done on his car, so
really?
he had to try and catch us up.
Oh.
Like we said, in the city, the roads are perfect. They were like pristine.
Yeah.
So we were heading north towards the Devasa crater, and as soon as you left the city, it was like pothole hell. It was, oh my God. It, like Will said, you couldn't drive more than like 15, 20 miles an hour on some roads because it was just like ba-boom, ba-boom, and you'd hit one and it'd be like, oh, is the tire going to pop?
And you spend like so long in the car that all you want to do is drive. And then when it stops you from driving so fast and you have to really concentrate, that's just next level.
Yeah.
Because you still ain't eating right. I think we found a corner shop in Iran and bought loads of like eggplant curry tins, which gave us diarrhea, but we had to eat them. It was the only thing we had. So, we're dealing with that. We're dealing with like fragileness and just vulnerableness from bad bellies and not being able to just travel and get to where you need to go. The frustration that happens is mad.
It was. And so like there was times where we would be on a road that would go for such a long time, and instead of driving down a long road like this, you would just be swerving left and right, and it would just become normal. You'd be in the back reading a book, like just flying around the car, and that was like the reality. So we were making our way to the entrance, and on the way we saw like they weren't wild camels, but someone owned them. But we saw camels on the side of the road. We
saw them, wasn't it? And we were buzzing.
Yeah,
I got a wicked picture of the guys behind with the camel. It was
that was
really
super cool.
They're massive.
And we actually we didn't have any manat on us, so we'd run out of Turkish manat somehow. I think we spent it on the hotel.
Turkmen
manat. So we did another little dodgy black market swap at a petrol station.
Right.
And one of the things that you'll experience on the rally is diabolical toilets.
Oh my God.
And I
How
don't know.
Have we not spoken about them yet?
Well, they were bad, but this is when it got really extreme.
We're going into those countries.
Honestly, like the smell of this one was unbelievable. This is the one where you went in there just to change, and it was a shed, and it looked like someone had just drilled a hole in the floor. So it was like it was a tiled floor with just a hole.
Okay.
So the reason these toilets are so bad is because they're just cesspits.
Yeah.
There's no piping. It's literally just a drop, and then there's like 10 ton of shit underneath, just
really
mountained up.
It really is. You can imagine how that smells.
So trying to go, you have to literally hold your breath to go in.
Either hold your breath or try and take in a scarf. It just takes your breath away, doesn't it? It literally does, and you're just like.
It's so bad that I can remember how it smelt.
Yeah.
You can't even describe it.
No, you kind of get used to it though after a while, don't you?
Yeah.
You just add to the cesspit.
So we get to the entrance, and I can't even describe.
What do you mean, the entrance of what? This is too big to.
The Devasa crater.
Oh, the Devasa crater. So the Devasa crater, or the gates to hell, as the locals know it, is a 60-meter wide and 98-foot drop. It doesn't say what it is. Crater. Although the crater looks like a natural feature, it is actually the result of drilling by Soviet geologists in the early 1970s. So during the drilling, their equipment, including heavy machines, fell into the crater, and then natural gases started to escape. So the geologists lit a fire, imagining that it would burn for a couple of days and then that would be it. It would all go out. But nearly half a century later, the fire is still burning, which is crazy.
Imagine that. Imagine being the guy who lit it and going, boys, this is going to solve the problem.
Yeah.
And then like 20 years later, the boys are like,
I get rid of this now, watch this.
John, it's still burning, mate. Do you reckon it's going to go out anytime soon? He's going, not sure.
Not sure. So it's a huge crater in the middle of the desert that is just on fire. It's not like a massive roaring fire, but it's just like a crackling fire on the surface of the earth, isn't it? Yeah. It is a sight to be seen.
So when we got to the start of it, it was like this really strange, it was like, it wasn't dust and it wasn't sand. It was like
Very
a mixture of the two. Like you'd stand on it, it would squeak. It was really weird, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we got stuck straight away, basically.
Straight away.
Drove the car, got stuck.
Well, we were like, right, we need to gun this. And I was like, right, the boys were in front of us. So they went and then I just
blasted it.
pedal to the metal or whatever it's called. But because they were in front of me, all of the sand was, it was like blowing up and I couldn't see where I was going. So if they just stopped, I'd have just smacked into the back of them. So I stopped and then that was where this problem started.
So the next 4 or 5 hours was just basically us digging ourselves out, pushing the car, navigating through the sand, and just working as a convoy to try and get through. So it was about 5 miles in total.
But nobody knew it was 5 miles. We thought it was like just over the hill, but it was flipping miles away. And it took all day, didn't it? It literally was like you needed the strength and you needed to be in a good frame of mind for today. Because it was very frustrating.
So there were guys there on motorbikes and they were kind of offering lifts to people for money. And they kind of were waiting around to wait for people to break down.
Yeah. But they were helpful as well.
They were helpful, but so we asked Will earlier what he thought of these guys, because at one point Will was fuming, wasn't he?
Yeah.
When we were on our way into the Devaza crater, what made you so angry at the guys who were trying to help us?
I was fuming. Because mainly because I knew why they were there, mate. They're there just to get us. We've been told beforehand that they were there. They will tell you to go the wrong way and get you stuck. Because obviously they're there just waiting to take you and charge you to get you to this crater. So they want you to get stuck, and I knew that. And I just wanted it to be our experience, like trying to get through this section of the rally, and they wouldn't leave us alone. And I was like, just fuck off, man. We're trying to do this ourselves. This is our experience. This is our adventure.
Yeah.
It's like I know you're trying to sound like you're trying to help, but I was just convinced they were trying to get us stuck. Yeah. And just take us make us pay to get on the motorbike and go. And I was like, just leave us, man. We can do it.
Yeah.
You know? I'll never forget when I told Jess to take a little bit more of the wheel.
I was going to say that. It was so funny. I forgot about it. So we said to everybody, let's let the tyres down, because everyone said like lower the pressure.
All right, because we were going on the sand.
We all took one each. And Jess took a tyre and literally she left it as a pancake. Jess Berg left the fucking tyre was so flat.
You said take the ear out, and I was like, take a little bit out, you nutter.
It was just rising on rim.
And we were so unprepared. I don't even think we had anything to build it back up with.
No, we actually did. That was a one bit of kit we had.
Yeah,
thank
God
compressor.
we did. Yeah. That was like after I'd settled down from those guys. That was such an amazing part of the rally. That section.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know if people listening, like, if you research the Mongol Rally, that's like the first. Not the first, but that's the serious actual off-road rally stage that you kind of have to complete to say you've done the Mongol Rally.
Yeah, for sure.
And you have to do it. Like it's just part of you got to tick that box. And we're like, all right, here we go. Yeah. And I remember Amy just getting in the car off the road, and we went like 20 meters, and we were bogged right away. And I was like, how far is it? And it was like, I know, like 5 miles of this.
5 miles.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We got there like 2 in the afternoon. We didn't get the thing till 10 at night or something.
Yeah, it was a long day. It was so weird.
Oh, mate. But it was class. I mean, I got smashed at the crate. I was just like, fuck, yeah.
You were worse than you the next day.
I was smashed.
So
yeah. I just woke up in the tent, stuck my head out, and everything was packed up, and like L20 teams were ready to go. I was like, fuck it up. Let's go then. Amazing though, man. That was what it's all about. Like those kind of sections. That was mental.
Yeah.
Mental. All sorts going on. Everyone getting bogged. everyone just laughed and then like, oh fuck, here we go again.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
So yeah, I'm with Will with that because like I wanted it to be our thing, and to get extra help, it kind of felt like cheating a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was such a good experience, wasn't it? It was so fun. Everyone was there. Was so many cars, and everyone was doing the same thing.
Yeah, but we all helped each other, didn't we?
We all helped each other.
Everyone helped us more than most.
Do you remember when Ian got the front of his car ripped off?
Oh my god, that was on the way back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh
So I can't remember what happened, but yeah, he got this big truck to tie the rope to his front of his thing.
The next day when we were leaving, there was like big trucks leaving as well. So if you got stuck, they would help you out a little bit. And I think they just tied it onto the front of his grill and just smashed it back.
Ripped it off.
It just came off and be like, oh! But yeah, actually getting to the crater was a mission.
Yeah, but it was so much fun. There was like little sections where we had to blast through. You had to like literally put your foot to the floor. There was sand spinning up in the air, and you had to like go through it. Yeah, we were covered.
Stinking.
You couldn't use the blowers in the car because obviously it was going through the air filtration system. So if you turn the blowers on, it was like blow dust in your face inside.
But the car was disgusting at this point. This was the start of Fferanda Babes just being a rally car.
Yeah,
it was minging. It was coated in dust and sand.
And one of the strangest things that happened was our sump guard came off, which wasn't that strange. So whilst we were fixing the sump guard, trying to like chicken wire it back on. So the sump guard is the part that is like a metal plate that protects the bottom of the car, which we definitely needed on this because we were smashing into bumps and rocks. So whilst we were doing that, one of the boys showed up, Sam. So Sam managed to, I don't know how he even managed it. He basically, we'll tell his story later on. We'll get him on another episode to tell his story.
It is insane.
But he managed to hitchhike from, I don't even know where, but he turned up in the middle of the desert with another team.
Yeah.
So Sam was part of Ollie and Aiden's team.
The Tyrannosaurus wreck.
Yeah. And he was like, oh, all right, guys. And he showed up with his little spray bottle.
He's got my spray.
I was like, how do you feel, mate? He's like, fucking shit.
Yeah. It was mad because, so long story short, he lost his passport, didn't he?
Right in the start of the rally,
Absolute whopper, lost his passport. So yeah, his story to try and get back to his teammates, which actually ended up being in Turkmenistan, is one to be listened to.
Yeah,
we'll definitely get him on.
So yeah, as we just basically kept going, like we all took it in turns to drive little sections. Jess did really well. Jess was flying out some of the drives. She was quite small and
light, so she would just take the car and go.
Yeah, so we'd all stand out, and it was a bit of a game. We'd watch people go, and they'd be like, "Wah!"
Yeah.
So much fun. So as we approached, you could like see the glow of the crater. That's how big it is,
and that's how dark it was by the time we got there.
It was pitch black.
It was pitch black.
So yeah, we arrived.
And this is like a spot for everybody to go in it. Like all the Mongol Rally cars want to go here because it is just an incredible sight to see.
I think it was the only place apart from the finish line where we saw a mass of people and cars.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Like all these Mongol Rally cars just sort of dotting the circumference of it. It was really cool.
And I love the hustle of the locals because they're always clued up to what's going on.
Yeah.
So there was people with cold beers, and they were selling beers for like $10 a go.
It was
You remember how much?
It was bottles of Coke, and they were cold, and everyone.
There was beer as well, though.
Oh, I bought 4 bottles of Coke for £4.
Really? Oh, that's not bad.
They were small bottles, but yeah, that wasn't bad at all. We were gasping for it.
Oh man.
Oh, it was. There was what we needed after that day, like such a hot day in the desert, pushing cars and stuff, and then he comes on a motorbike with all these beers and Cokes, and he was Jesus.
He was
the savior.
But yeah, just pulling up and seeing that crater, it was like, I've never seen anything like it. I know it's not like a natural wonder. It's just gas burning, but it's something so like magical and captivating. You just like, we stood and just stared at the flames for so long.
It was hot.
It was like having a giant campfire, and everyone was just like, whoa.
Yeah. Massive.
And it used to not have any barriers, but since loads of ralliers go there, they've put barriers up.
After 2018,
everyone was just,
they put it up,
just climbing over.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was wicked. We sat around the campfire. Someone had a massive watermelon that we opened.
Yeah.
We just had drinks, and it was actually our 10-year anniversary as well.
You actually scared the shit out of me on this day. Can you remember? So say what happened.
Well, we'd just been with everybody all day as a team. We hadn't had any time to ourselves, and it was our anniversary. So I said to Amy,
10 years together, blooming heck.
I know. So I was like, let's go for a little walk, not thinking anything of it.
But he said it, so like, nobody would hear. And I'm like, what? And he's like, oh, just me and you. We'll just go for a little walk. And I thought he was going to propose. I literally was like, my heart sank. And I became really nervous. And I was like, you better fucking not do it right now. Like, you better not. Like, I don't want it to be done here.
Why?
I'm not ready or something. I don't even know.
It would have been a sick place to do it.
Don't do it.
Where'd you get engaged? The Vaza crater?
Yeah.
But I didn't, so.
All right then, why? Why didn't you?
Well, because I knew you'd be like, oh, look, a fucking mess cake. I need to get my nails done.
You know me so well.
I know you too well, yeah. You would have been fuming.
But I think you wanted to go for a little walk and you wanted to make conversation and I just couldn't come up with anything.
I know, I was like, you all right, mate?
I'm just like, yeah, fine, you know?
You just wee shit in your pantaloons.
Anyway, that didn't happen. We joined our team again. We've all set up our tents. You know, we've got this... we've got like a big camp set up, haven't we? And we're all just sort of laughing, drinking, and
yeah, it was wicked.
Brilliant.
Sam actually did a toast, wasn't it? It was Sam who was like, "Oh, congratulations, Craig and Amy, 10 years."
Oh yeah,
it was really cool.
Yeah,
and so yeah, it was totally worth it. It was like such a good team atmosphere. Everyone was like cracking jokes and having drinks. Will got smashed.
Yeah. You know what? I actually think it was past midnight, and that's why it was our 10-year.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
we actually went on then to share a 10-bedroom dorm with everyone on our actual 10-year anniversary night.
Yeah,
that's what I remember.
The worst part about arriving at the crater, was that we had to do the same thing the next day, going the other way,
all the way back again.
But it seemed like way easier going back.
Yeah,
I think it was because from the start point to the crater was all uphill.
Right.
So going back down, it was more downhill. So you had gravity on your side a bit more.
So we let Jess take it again, didn't we? Or did we? No, because she came in those big trucks. Remember, we just hitched a ride with big trucks.
So we were having to have one person in the car to have less weight. So I think Will did a lot of the driving back.
It was Will, yeah.
We hitched a ride in one of the trucks.
It was really cool, and they were playing like mad Turkmen music, and we were all just like raving in the back of this truck.
It was good.
Massive truck.
But I don't know if you remember, but literally like 2 minutes in, we popped a tyre.
Oh.
So we had a big slit. We hit a rock and just tore a tyre open. So not only did we have to do the drive, we had to do it on a donut wheel.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a little BMX wheel. It was shit.
It was amazing.
So yeah, the bottom of the car basically just took a massive paste in. We were having to just slam it through.
The sump guard actually came off, didn't it? And Ollie had to fix it.
No, that was before.
Oh, is it?
It came clean off.
Yeah.
The second day, so we just put it in the back of the car. We were like,
because it wasn't just sand, was it? There was rocks, but you don't see them because it's under the sand.
Yeah,
so...
and you just the sounds is just like crunching and sliding metal,
just to add salt to the wound.
Yeah, and Fferanda was just dying.
She was a trooper.
Insider tip.
Inside.
Oh yeah.
If you're gonna get a car, get a car with wheels that are really easy to find.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know if it was the ones that Phil put on there for us.
Right.
But we couldn't find our specific tyre type anywhere.
Yeah.
So we always had to have like our car was always wonky.
We literally did have one bigger than the other at one point. I know.
Yeah, it was so dangerous. So yeah, we managed to get right the way to the end. I think this was a pretty fast day. And Will was driving, and I think Will he's a bit like me. He hates losing. And because he was driving, we got right to the end. You could literally see the tarmac of the road. And then the car got stuck. And Will was so pissed off. I remember him being fuming.
Oh, no.
So we had to get a tow from a truck, which was fine. They just pulled us out of the sand and we kept going.
Yeah.
But then when we got on the actual roads, do you remember this? No. It was like, how bad is the car? And as soon as we started driving, it was like... The back piston was rattling. It was squeaking. Oh, it was just a nightmare.
Not great. But worth it, though. Because that crater night, it will stay in my memories forever. It was wonderful.
Yeah. It was
so cool.
It was a sensation. That was one of the highlights of the rally for me.
Yeah.
Not just the trying to get there, but actually seeing it and being there with everybody. It was just unbelievable.
Crazy.
So yeah, we got back on the road. I can't remember how far we had to go, but it was a lot of pothole driving again to try and get, because we only had 5 days in Turkmenistan, then we had to be out. Is that right? 4 or 5 days?
I'm not sure.
It was a very short amount of time.
Right.
So we were trying to get to the border and we actually got there too late because we took so long to get out. So some people, the Shenlong team went through the border and we couldn't get through, so we had to find like a little hotel.
It was shut by the time we got there.
Yeah.
That's right.
It was like, we got there at like 5 o'clock, I think, and it was shut. So
we were like, where on earth are we going to stay? There's nothing around.
Yeah.
And by this time, I guess we were in the slums kind of thing. We were outside the beautiful...
yeah, we were on the outskirts. We actually met some local Turkmenistan people.
Yeah.
Gave some kids some stickers and stuff, didn't we?
We stayed, in a... Well, it was like an 8-bedroom, and then they like rolled 2 mattresses in, so we were all in 1 bedroom, and the beds were really low, so we were all. It was a massive sleepover, basically. It was so much fun.
It was funny. So it was our 10-year anniversary, and we shared a 10-bed dorm.
Yeah,
Treat you good, babes.
I wouldn't have had it any other way.
But it was like a £5 a night.
Yeah. We had to barter that as well, didn't we?
Yeah, so there was a couple of rooms. There was a blue room, and then there was a room that smelled like poo.
Yeah.
So we went with the blue room in the end.
We did. Yeah. Was it someone's house?
It was somebody's house, yeah.
Mental.
She made a killing.
I think all of the like duvets were like Hello Kitty or like like Turkmen children's TV characters, like little cartoons that you just like have no idea who they are.
So weird. I can't even remember what we ate that night. Can you?
No.
Yeah,
Probably,
not a lot.
No, I think it was noodles again.
Was it?
I think that's what we had.
I think so. So yeah, the next day we made our way to the border, and the car started like actually playing up, and I think this was the start of Fferanda being a little bitch.
Oh.
So it was like rattling and it conked out and it was overheating. I think it's probably because all the dust that it was trying to get through the whole system, get rid of it.
It could have been anything, Craig. What we put her through was just like torture. This is so unfair.
But I remember outside of that hotel, we tried to clean the car out because there was like, spilt tins of olives again. Oh, and there was like dust in everything. And so we literally binned a bunch of stuff to try to clear it out. But inside the car was just like covered in dust. And
like you'd shower, but you'd go straight back into like the clothes you were
wearing,
would be
like,
or the car, and you'd be minging again.
You know when people make like breaded chicken stuff, or like it's just an analogy. It's like when you have a shower and then you just go and dip yourself back in the breadcrumbs. That's what it was like in the car.
Great analogy, Craig. I like that one.
So yeah, basically we were on our way to the next border. That was our experience in Turkmenistan. In 4 or 5 days, I think all that happened.
So crazy, because
mental.
Like, on the way up to this, sort of like, Europe is quite normal. It's quite normal. You know what you're going to be in for.
Yeah.
You know, and the scenes were just beautiful around Europe. But then I think, well, Iran to start with was when it started to become very different.
Yeah.
Turkmenistan had set us up now for what was to come.
Yeah.
You know, it was the start of Asia, which is like different to us, you know?
Yeah.
It's the unknown kind of thing.
Well, it was kind of like, is it called the Middle East? I'm not even sure.
Yeah.
Places we'd never been. We'd never experienced these cultures. We didn't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the beauties of what we were doing was that we were literally changing our trip as we went.
Yeah.
We weren't even going to do the Pamir Highway.
No.
But the guys are like, you should definitely do it.
So obviously the Pamir highways go up, is it 4,000 meters high?
Something ridiculous like that, yeah.
And obviously there's a good chance that you'd get altitude sickness with that. So I think I probably took it upon myself to say, no, we're not going, because me and sickness go hand in hand. But the boys were like, are you mad? You cannot miss it. Because we were just going to drive straight through Kazakhstan, I think. But instead we decided to do the Pamirs, which was a great shout.
It was one of the best decisions we made.
Yeah. But we did have to get a visa for it as well. Like we didn't
we had
just
to get
change
a
our
last
route. We
minute.
had to do a last minute visa and everything.
So that is it. That is Turkmenistan.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next time.
Yeah, we'll fill you in on all that. So on the next episode, we're going to be talking about Uzbekistan.
Who even knew that was a country? Like
Uzbekistan, specifically Nukus. Well, we'll talk about all of Uzbekistan, but Nukus. Everything went wrong in Nukus.
We had the motto or the little saying, "Fuck you, Nukus."
Fuck you, Nukus.
Because it was that bad.
It screwed everybody over.
It did.
But it's funny in
hindsight.
hindsight.
And let me, just before we go, I just want to say that we've done just over 4,000 miles to get to Turkmenistan, which is it would take you 72 hours to just drive straight there. And obviously we didn't do like the quickest route, did we?
No.
We went all kinds of ways. So
bloody hell. Good going. Some good shifts in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks so much for joining us, everybody. I've had a wicked time this week talking about Turkmenistan. It's
Oh,
mad,
good for
isn't
you,
it? Like
good for you.
reliving it.
Yeah,
You had a good time, don't lie.
Yeah, not as good as you and your little breadcrumb dip, but I've had a great time. Thanks for having me.
So yeah, the competition's still on. I know a lot of you have been leaving reviews for us on Apple Podcasts.
We laugh so much at these reviews because it pops up on our phone and says, you have a new review. And we're like, oh, what does it say? And some of you are hilarious. And
Yeah.
we just die. So thank you so much to everybody that's taken the time out to actually leave a review. It's so kind and it warms our hearts.
Yeah, and we're sitting at number 23 in the charts now, thanks to you guys. So even if you just give us a 5-star, you don't have to write anything if you can't be bothered. Just get us in the charts, innit?
So 33 out of
23
out of 24.
50,000, I reckon.
Really?
Don't know.
No. 23
yeah.
is good to me. That's my birthday, 23rd of May.
Yeah.
Don't forget it.
So yeah, if you leave a review, you'll be entered automatically into the competition to win some King in It merchandise, which we'll be announcing at the end of the series.
Wicked. And we're going to have a 10-part series, yeah?
Yes.
Brilliant.
So thanks for having us, guys.
Yeah,
and
thanks for listening.
We'll see you. Oh, if you're on YouTube, press subscribe.
Yeah, and give us a like and a comment because that always helps as well.
Yeah.
And we'll get back to you.
Anything else you want to add, babes?
I just want to say, this week's supposed to be a heat wave. I don't know where you are in the world listening, but if you've got good weather, enjoy yourself.
Enjoy yourself.
You know, we might take an extra day off this week.
Yeah, let's do that.
Because you're your own boss. You rule your own bloody world, Craig.
Rule your own world.
Do one of them. High five. Love it. So yeah, have a wicked week and we'll catch you next week.